Hello everyone. We have been talking about Hajj, and unfortunately, as you can see, and you probably have heard it in the news, over 1,000 people, at least 1,000 people. Usually Saudi Arabia never gives any accurate accounting of the number of the death. According to previous years' incidents, things that have happened before in 2016 and years, you never get an accurate number from them. But over 1,000 people, at least, I would say somewhere around 2,000 people died during this year's Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia. Wikipedia had a good accounting based on the casualties reported from each country, and they were saying that at least 1,170 people died during the pilgrimage because of extreme heat, with temperatures that exceeded 122 degrees Fahrenheit and 50 degrees centigrade. And the reasons for this included them not being able to access air-conditioned facilities, or, this is when it gets very interesting, official food or water stations, leading to prolonged periods of dehydration, exposure to and susceptibility to extreme heat. So basically, there were these official food and water stations that were available, but they were not available to everyone. They were available to a group of the pilgrims, and then the other pilgrims who were not registered, they would not allow them to access those official food or water stations. Isn't that amazing? They're all there to worship Allah. The pilgrims are there to worship Allah, their creator. And the main thing that Allah asks the believers to do is to do righteous and good deeds, to do good to each other, to be kind to each other. And yet, a group of them are dying because they don't have access to food and water right beside their brothers and sisters who have access to food, official food and water. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that mind-boggling? Doesn't that tell us majority of those who call themselves Muslims have no clue about altruistic behavior, about doing good deeds towards each other? I mean, why would that happen? And then here it says that seeing pilgrims lying along the roadside motionless had become a norm. This is another article from CNN. I will put the link down in the description. I encourage you to go and actually read this and watch the video. It's a very interesting video about this family. But what it said here, again, it was very upsetting for me. It says witnesses said worshippers losing consciousness and walking past bodies covered in white cloth became a norm during the mass religious events. Do you know what that means? It means that you're walking and these people are dying right there beside you, on your right, on your left, in front of you, behind you, and you're just walking as if that's okay. It's a norm. This had become a norm that right beside you, someone would lose consciousness and die, and you would still continue walking. Nobody was doing anything to help anyone. That is just so sad. That's the ABC of faith. That's the foundation of faith, is to help each other, to be there for each other. But unfortunately, in the Muslim world, in the Middle East, it has become a norm that people are dying right and left and nobody cares anymore. It has become normal. The entire Muslim world is watching Palestinians die for the past 8-9 months. Thousands of 40, 50, 60,000, who knows what the real number is, of them are dying day in, day out. Everybody watches them in their TV, in the news channel. Nobody cares. Syrian civil war, hundreds of thousands of people died. Nobody cares. And now you see the exact same thing. You see the exact same thing happening in Hajj, which is supposed to be a religious ceremony. You're there presumably for Allah, for your God, to do good deed, right? What is more important to Allah? That you stand, you stop and save one of your brothers or sisters, or that you walk from point A to point B? Which one is more important to Allah? I ask you all these questions. Is it more important for Allah if you stop and give water to your brother and sister and help her or help him save his life? Or is it more important for Allah if you go around the building? It's amazing to me when I see something like this. They don't even understand the ABC of faith and religion. And that's why the entire Muslim world is in such a terrible situation. And there's this video about this young lady. Both his parents went over there to perform Hajj, saved their entire lives. They paid $11,500 per person to go there. And both parents, American Muslims, both of them died over there. And they had just retired, and they were so looking forward to this trip. And unfortunately, they never came back. Again, the same article. Along the way home, I saw many pilgrims who died. Almost every few hundred meters, there was a body lying and covered with an ihram, with that white cloth, he said. Why is this happening every other year, 2,000, 3,000? Is this happening for a long time? Either there's a stampede or something breaks. And why is this happening? And the answer is the wrong religion. The religion of Akbar, the religion of the Iblis, the devil, our enemy. This is what happens when you follow the devil, when you don't follow the Quran. If the Muslim world would follow the Quran, then they would know the original divine calendar that is in the Quran, is in the Bible, in the Gospel, in Dead Sea Scrolls, in the book of Enoch. Is very well documented. This calendar is very well documented. It's a solar calendar and it's not a lunar calendar. Let me show this to you. This is how the calendars start. First name of the calendar is Rabi al-Awwal. It means the first month of spring. The second one is Rabi al-Thani. It means the second month of spring. Then you have Jamadi al-Awwal, the first parched dry land. Then you have Jamadi al-Thani, the second parched dry land. Then you have the month of Rajab, which is for grapes trellising, and the month of Sha'ban, when people would scatter and disperse to look for water in that region. Then you have the month of Ramadan, which is the period of first rains at the end of summer and beginning of fall. These are the first rains that fall on hot earth. Then you have the month of Shawwal, because female camels would normally be in calf at this time of the year. That's what it means, raised. Then you would have the last 4 months of the year. These are the last 4 haram or forbidden months, because in these months, war, conflict was forbidden. These were the 4 months of peace, the 4 months of truce, and the 4 months of Hajj that the Quran talks about. Al-Hajj ashhurun ma'lumat. The pilgrimage, the Hajj, is during very well-known months. The first month is Zulqa'dah. It means possessor of the truce, signaling that truce is about to start to the entire region. Back then, we are talking about 1400 years ago. And then you would have Zulhijjah, the possessor of pilgrimage, because most of the people would leave during this month because the war has stopped that here. And by the time they would get there, they would be in Zulhijjah. And then you had Al-Muharram, or forbidden haram months. And then you have the month of Safar, which signals to the believers. Safar means void, when something is getting voided. What is being voided? The truce is about to get voided. It's a warning to the entire pilgrims, to those who are traveling, to those who were traveling in the region, in the area, that the truce, that the peace is about to be voided, and the first month of spring is about to start. And what would the kings do? The Bible, what they call the Old Testament, which to me is very fresh and new. I call it Fresh Testament, New Testament, tells us the first month of the spring was the month that the kings would go to war. This is a beautiful calendar that existed for thousands of years in the Middle East up until the Umayyad, the servants of the Lucifer, the servant of the devil, the servant of Iblis, took over and changed the culture in the region, changed the religion in the region. So had these pilgrims known that, they would know that the months of Hajj is from November to March, according to our calendar right now. And during those months, you don't have any heat problems. There is no heat stroke because those months are cool. So you never have heat strokes in those months. And there's plenty of water available because it rains and it's very cool in that region. And another reason why all these deaths are happening is that people are walking long distance from Arafat to go stone the devil. But the Arafat is in the wrong place. The whole thing is in the wrong place. The original Arafat is in Petra, Jordan. It's where they call it the monastery right now. And look, it's right there. You come down. This is Muzdalifah. You come down the Muzdalifah. You come down this is not that long. The walk is not that bad. It's actually shaded because it's right in the middle of two mountains. Most of the way is very nicely shaded. It has beautiful views and it's cool. And you come down and you end right in front of the Kaaba. But unfortunately, this is what the wrong religion does to us. When we follow the devil, when we follow our enemy, how many times does Allah tell us in the Quran, فَلَا يُغَرَّنَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ الْغَرُورِ? It means be careful that the deceiver does not deceive you about Allah. And yet, every time they say prayers, what do they say? They say Allahu Akbar. It means Akbar is the God. Who is Akbar? Do you know Akbar? Why do you worship Akbar? Allahu Akbar doesn't mean Allah is the greatest at all. That would have been Allahu Al-Akbar, not Allahu Akbar. Akbar is a name. Is a title of the devil, the sun god, that these people worship unknowingly. And the religion of Akbar, which is the religion based on hadith, based on hearsay, he said, she said, and all these problems because of one thing: following the wrong religion, the religion of the Satan, the religion of Iblis, the religion of Akbar. Peace and blessings to all of you.